All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is V. Ravi Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India's economic growth is picking up pace again and domestic industry needs to enhance its risk-taking appetite. Prime Minister to participate in the Atmanirbhar Nari Shakti Se Samvad at 12:30 p.m. today. International Youth Day being observed today. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to confer National Youth Awards 2017-18 and 2018-19 in New Delhi. Country's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 52 crore mark. Maharashtra government relaxes corona curbs, allows hotels and restaurants to operate till 10 p.m. on all days from Sunday. Rescue operations resume at the Landside site in Kinora district of Himachal Pradesh. Indore becomes first water plus city of the country. And in cricket, second test between India and England to begin in London today. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact National Helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India's economic growth is picking up pace again and domestic industry needs to enhance its risk-taking appetite. The Prime Minister was addressing the Confederation of Indian Industry CII annual meeting last evening through video conferencing.
भारत की इकोनॉमी अब फिर गति पकड़ रही है। आज शायद ही कोई दिन ऐसा हो जब न्यू अपॉर्चुनिटीज को लेकर किसी न किसी सीईओ का स्टेटमेंट न आता हो। आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान की सफलता का बहुत बड़ा दायित्व भारतीय उद्योगों पर है। आज का नया भारत नई दुनिया के साथ चलने के लिए तैयार है। आज देशवासियों की भावना भारत में बने प्रोडक्ट्स के साथ है। देश मन बना चुका है। अब उद्योग जगत को इस मन के मुताबिक अपनी नीति बनानी है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान में आगे बढ़ते हुए ये आपको बहुत मदद करेगा।
Further, the Prime Minister said, even during such unprecedented times of COVID-19, the country is witnessing how the industry and the government can work hand in hand.
सरकार और भारत के उद्योग जगत की साझेदारी को मजबूत होते भी देख रहे हैं। मास्क, पीपीई, वेंटिलेटर से लेकर टीकाकरण तक देश को जो भी जरूरत पड़ी, जब भी जरूरत पड़ी, इंडस्ट्री ने आगे बढ़कर हर संभव योगदान दिया।
Speaking at the event, he said, India, which was once apprehensive of foreign investment, is today welcoming every type of investment. He said India is receiving a record FDI because of the reforms done in last few years. The Prime Minister said during the monsoon session of Parliament, many important bills were passed. He said the Factoring Regulation Amendment Bill will help small businesses get credit facilities. The Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation Amendment Bill will also protect the rights of small depositors. He said the agriculture sector was once considered to be just a medium of livelihood. But now, efforts are being made to connect Indian farmers with the domestic and global markets through historic reforms in the agriculture sector.
जहां कभी कृषि को सिर्फ गुजारे का माध्यम माना जाता, वहीं अब कृषि में ऐतिहासिक रिफॉर्म्स के जरिए भारतीय किसानों के देश विदेश के मार्केट से सीधे जोड़ने का प्रयास हो रहा है।
The Prime Minister said the government not only implemented GST, but today the country is witnessing a record GST collection. He said by rectifying the mistakes of the past, the government did away with the retrospective taxation. The Prime Minister said the initiative will strengthen the trust between the government and the industry. The theme of the meeting is India at 75, Government and Business Working Together for Atmanirbhar Bharat. The CII Annual Meeting 2021 will be held over 2 days. Singapore's Deputy Prime Minister and Coordinating Minister for Economic Policies, Heng Swee Kit, will address as the special international guest speaker. The event will also have the participation of many ministers, senior officials, academics, and prominent representatives of the Indian industry.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the Atmanirbhar Nari Shakti Se Samvad at 12:30 p.m. today through video conferencing. The Prime Minister will interact with Women Self-Help Group, SHG members, or community resource persons promoted under the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihoods Mission. During the event, a compendium of success stories of women SHG members from all across the country, along with a handbook on universalization of farm livelihoods, will also be released by the Prime Minister. Union Minister for Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, Giriraj Singh, Minister for Food Processing Industries, Pashupati Kumar Paras, and several other ministers will also be present on the occasion. More from our correspondent.
During the virtual event, the Prime Minister will also release capitalization support funds to the tune of 1,625 crore rupees to over 4 lakh self-help groups. In addition, he will release 25 crore rupees as seed money for 7,500 SSG members under the PM Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises PMFME scheme of Ministry of Food Processing Industries and 4.13 crore rupees as funds to 75 farmer producer organization FPOs being promoted under the mission. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission aims at mobilizing rural poor households into self-help groups in a phased manner and provide them long-term support to diversify their livelihoods, improve their incomes and quality of life. Most of mission's interventions are being implemented and scaled up by SSG women themselves who are trained as community resource persons. The mission is also working on empowering SSG women through awareness generation and behavior change communication. Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Today is International Youth Day. The day provides an opportunity for governments and others to draw attention to the issues of youth worldwide. The theme of the International Youth Day 2021 is Transforming Food Systems, Youth Innovation for Human and Planetary Health, which highlights that success of such a global effort will not be achieved without the meaningful participation of young people. In the year 1999, in its resolution, the United Nations General Assembly endorsed the recommendation made by the World Conference of Ministers responsible for youth that 12th August be declared International Youth Day.
Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur will confer the National Youth Awards 2017-18 and 2018-19 in New Delhi today. Commemorating the International Youth Day 2021, 10 young winning entrepreneur teams of the Agri-Enterprise Challenge, Social Objectives-Led Volunteer Enterprise Development or SOLVED 2021 will be felicitated by Minister of State for Youth Affairs and Sports Nishit Pramanik. Total 22 National Youth Awards will be given in the category of individual and organizations. The award comprises of a medal, a certificate and a cash prize of 1 lakh rupees to individuals and a cash prize of 3 lakh rupees to organization. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports confers the National Youth Awards on individuals aged between 15 to 29 years and organizations for excellent work and contribution in different fields of development and social service such as health, promotion of human rights, active citizenship, community service, etc. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, in collaboration with United Nations Volunteers and United Nations Development Programme, had launched the Solved Challenge in December last year for youth from rural, suburban and urban India to identify and nurture innovative, youth-led entrepreneurial solutions in the agri-food value chain. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has said he is hurt by the fact that the proceedings of the House did not take place as per expectations in this session. He was speaking to the reporters yesterday after the House was adjourned sine die. The Speaker said the House functioned for only 21 hours and 14 minutes. Out of the quorum of 96 working hours, work could not be done for 74 hours and 46 minutes. He said the total productivity was 22% and a total of 20 bills were passed, including the OBC bill, which was passed with the unanimous consent of all parties.
इस छठे सत्र के अंदर अपेक्षाओं के अनुरूप सदन का कामकाज नहीं हुआ, इसको लेकर मेरे मन में वेदना है। मेरी कोशिश रहती है सदन में अधिकतम कामकाज हो, विधायी कार्य भी हो, जनता से जुड़े मुद्दों पर भी चर्चा हो, माननीय सदस्य अपने अपने क्षेत्र की अपेक्षा और आकांक्षाओं को भी सदन के माध्यम से सरकार तक पहुंचाए ताकि उनके अभावों को दूर कर सकें। लेकिन इस बार लगातार गतिरोध रहा और ये गतिरोध समाप्त नहीं हो पाया।
The Rajya Sabha registered 28% productivity during the monsoon session of Parliament, which came to an end yesterday. During the session, the productivity was very less as compared to previous 5 sessions, in which the House has functioned 95%. Rajya Sabha Secretariat said, out of the total 97 hours 30 minutes, the upper house functioned for 28 hours 21 minutes. It said 76 hours 26 minutes were lost due to disruptions. 19 bills were passed during the session in Rajya Sabha and 4 bills were introduced. Both the houses of the Parliament were adjourned sine die. Leader of the House in Rajya Sabha, Piyush Goyal, has demanded that a special committee be set up to look into the incidents of gross indiscipline by opposition members during the monsoon session. Speaking in Rajya Sabha, he condemned the incident and termed it as unfortunate. He said the committee should inquire into the unruly behavior in the House and strict action should be taken. He said the intentions of the opposition were on full display yesterday and attempts were made by some opposition members to attack the panel chairman, table staff, women security staff and the Secretary General. Piyush Goyal added, opposition members even tried to stop him and the Parliamentary Affairs Minister from coming out of their chambers. The Leader of the House said such behavior should never be tolerated by the House and the country. He added the members involved in the incident who tarnished the image of the House should apologize for their behavior. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India's economic growth is picking up pace again and domestic industry needs to enhance its risk-taking appetite. Prime Minister to participate in the Atmanirbhar Nari Shakti Se Samvad at 12:30 p.m. today. International Youth Day being observed today. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to confer National Youth Awards 2017-18 and 2018-19 in New Delhi. Country's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 52 crore mark. Maharashtra government relaxes corona curbs, allows hotels and restaurants to operate till 10 p.m. on all days from Sunday. Rescue operations resume at the Landside site in Kinora district of Himachal Pradesh. Indore becomes the first water plus city of the country, and in cricket, second test between India and England to begin in London today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
India's cumulative COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 52 crore mark. More than 40 lakh vaccine doses were administered yesterday. Over 20 lakh vaccine doses were administered as the first dose and over 4 lakh vaccine doses given as second dose in the age group 18 to 44 years yesterday. A total of 37 new cases of coronavirus infection were reported in the national capital yesterday. Delhi government said 47 people recovered from the infection and no death were reported in the city. Presently, the total number of active cases of COVID-19 in the national capital is 494. More than 140,000 beneficiaries were inoculated with COVID-19 in the last 24 hours in Delhi. With this, over 1 crore 9 lakh beneficiaries have been vaccinated so far.
Gujarat has recorded 16 new cases of COVID-19 during the last 24 hours. The recovery rate stands at 98.76%. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
28 patients recovered and discharged from the various hospitals during the last 24 hours in Gujarat. More than 8,14,000 patients have been recovered from COVID-19 till now. Maximum 7 new cases reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 3 new cases. No death was reported due to COVID-19 in the state yesterday. Meanwhile, 3,24,168 people have been vaccinated in Gujarat yesterday. Out of these, nearly 2 lakh people have been vaccinated for the second dose. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
Maharashtra government has further relaxed COVID-19 curbs by allowing hotels and restaurants to operate till 10 p.m. on all days from Sunday. Currently, hotels and restaurants are allowed to operate till 4 p.m. The customers must wear masks in the waiting area of the restaurants.
According to the new standard operating procedure, all the management and staff working in the shopping mall and all the citizens entering must have taken 2 doses of COVID preventive vaccine and should have completed 14 days after the second dose. Also, citizens entering the mall will have to show the vaccination certificate along with the photo ID at the entrance. The private offices are allowed to remain open 24/7 but have been requested to implement staggered working hours for facilitating shifts to avoid crowding in workplaces and transport. However, multiplexes in malls, single screens, drama theatres and places of worship will remain closed till further orders. The new orders will come into effect from 15th August. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
Mumbai local trains are all set to resume for fully vaccinated people from Sunday. The passes are being issued to board the local trains. Mumbai Municipal Corporation has started 358 help desks at 53 suburban railway stations. In the first session, over 18,300 citizens were verified and more than 17,750 monthly passes were distributed. Mayor Kishori Pednekar and Additional Commissioner Suresh Kakani visited Western Railway suburban stations and reviewed the work. Citizens who have completed 14 days after taking 2 doses of COVID vaccine are being verified with their final vaccination certificate and identity card with photograph. Those who are eligible for this offline verification are being given a monthly pass by the railways on the basis of which suburban railway travel is allowed.
Bengaluru District Administration has imposed a ban on devotees entering temples on Saturdays, Sundays and general holidays during the month of Shravan at the onset of a series of festivals. On other days, the devotees are allowed to enter the temples following COVID protocols to contain the spread of the disease. In Odisha, the world-famous Sri Jagannath Temple in Puri will reopen from Monday. The devotees will, however, be allowed inside the temple from the 23rd of this month. A decision to this effect was taken by the Sri Jagannath Temple administration yesterday. More from our correspondent.
The entire week following the temple reopening on coming Monday will be kept reserved for the servitors of the deities and the residents of Puri city, followed by the general devotees with effect from the 23rd of August. As for the standard operating procedures released by the temple administration, devotees will have to produce either final vaccination certificate or RT-PCR negative report to gain entry into the temple premise as a preventive measure. The temple will, however, continue to be out of bounds for the general devotees on all weekend and also on major festive occasions to avert any possible spike in viral transmission due to large gathering. Girish Chandradas, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The search and rescue operations resumed at the Landside site in Kinora district of Himachal Pradesh early this morning to trace the trapped people under the debris following a massive landslide. So far, 10 bodies have been retrieved while 13 people have been rescued. More from our Shimla correspondent.
A joint rescue operation of NDRF, ITBP, police and Home Guard is being carried out again today on war footing to search the people trapped under the debris. Heavy machinery is being used to clear the rubble from the incident site. The rescue team have been carrying out search operation to locate the HRTC bus under the debris without much success so far. According to the State Emergency Operations Center, around 25 to 30 people were buried under the debris in the landslide incident that took place at Negulsari yesterday. Meanwhile, 13 people have been rescued so far. Most of the deceased are locals of Kinora district. Chief Minister Jairam Thakur directed the district administration to provide all possible help to the injured people. Sanjeev Sundariyal, AIR News, Shimla.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the landslide tragedy at Kinora, Himachal Pradesh is very saddening. In a tweet, he said, "In this hour of grief, his thoughts are with the families of those who lost their lives." The Prime Minister hoped that the injured recover at the earliest. The Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each from Prime Minister's National Relief Fund to the next of kin of those who have lost their lives due to landslide in Himachal Pradesh. 50,000 rupees will be given to the injured.
In Bihar, flood situation continues to remain grim in 12 riverine districts including Patna, Buxar, Bhojpur and Munger. The situation has further aggravated following a continuous rise of water level in River Ganga. The water level of this river is just 50 centimeters below than the highest water level of 51.65 meters, which was recorded in 2016. Floodwater is rapidly engulfing fresh areas of the affected areas. People are migrating to higher places. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has asked the DMs of 12 districts to remain alert, keeping in mind the rising trend of water level in Ganga. He instructed the officials to further step up relief and rescue operations in the affected areas. The Chief Minister said the government had made a provision for payment of 15,000 rupees on birth of a female child at the flood relief camp and 10,000 rupees on birth of a male child at the relief camp. Nitish Kumar also instructed to make arrangements of fodder for animals at all relief camps. Cleanest city of the country, Indore, has now been declared as the first Water Plus city of the country. The results were released by the central government yesterday. Indore has retained the top spot continuously for 4 times in the category of cleanliness. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Urban Development and Housing Minister Bhupendra Singh have congratulated the officers and the employees of Indore Municipal Corporation, as well as the citizens for this achievement. A report from our Bhopal correspondent.
84 cities of the country had applied in the selection process of Water Plus, out of which only 33 cities were found suitable for ground verification. The hard work of the residents of Indore has once again created history in ground verification. Under the Swachh Bharat Mission Urban, the cities of the country are tested on the basis of various parameters of the cleanliness in various categories, which includes ODF+, ODF++, and Water Plus. The Water Plus certificate is awarded to cities that have met all the standards of ODF++. Also, the residual sewage from residential and commercial establishments is released into the environment only after treatment. Reuse of treated water is also ensured for this award. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
In the run-up to the Independence Day celebrations, we bring you stories on sectors which have made a major impact on the lives of citizens. In this series, today, we bring you a report on urban development. Narendra Modi-led government is implementing several schemes for development of urban infrastructure and enhancing facilities for ease of living for citizens in the last 7 years. On 25th June 2015, the government had launched the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban PMAYU with the objective of providing Pakka houses to all eligible beneficiaries of urban India by 2022 with a vision of housing for all. A report.
The scheme Amrut is being implemented with the objective of universal water supply, improvement in sewerage network and non-motorized urban transport. Under it, works of over 3,600 projects have been completed, while works on more than 2,000 projects are in progress. The Smart Cities Mission intends to strengthen urban infrastructure through application of smart solutions and provide a better quality of life to citizens. Last year, the government has launched Prime Minister Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi scheme for the urban street vendors who were adversely affected due to COVID-19 lockdown. The objective of the scheme is to provide affordable collateral-free working capital loan up to 10,000 rupees to them to resume their livelihoods. So far, over 43 lakh loan applications have been received under the scheme, and out of them, nearly 25 lakh loans have been sanctioned. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Indian Space Research Organization ISRO today launched its Earth Observation Satellite GSAT-1. The satellite was launched at 5:43 this morning on board GSLV F-10 rocket from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. ISRO said performance of first and second stages was normal. However, cryogenic upper stage ignition did not happen due to technical anomaly. ISRO Chairman K. Sivan said the mission couldn't be accomplished as intended. Union Minister Jitendra Singh spoke to ISRO chief and discussed the matter in detail.
Afghanistan has replaced its army chief as Taliban militants continue to make rapid advances. The insurgents have now taken control of 9 of the 34 provincial capitals. In their latest offensive, sources said Taliban has entered the center of the city of Ghazni, where heavy fighting has erupted. President Ashraf Ghani earlier flew to the northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif, traditionally an anti-Taliban bastion, to try to rally pro-government forces. US President Joe Biden has said that he does not regret withdrawing troops after 20 years and urged Afghan leaders to unite and fight for their nation. According to the UN, more than 1,000 civilians have been killed amid fierce fighting in the past month. The Odisha government yesterday felicitated the Olympians from the state. At a special function in capital Bhubaneswar, Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik handed over a cash award of 2.5 crore rupees and also offered letters for appointments as Deputy Superintendent of Police to Birendra Lakra and Amit Rohidas, the 2 Odiyas in the men's hockey team who brought Olympian laurel for the country in hockey after 41 years. The Chief Minister also honoured Deep Grace, Ekka and Namita Topo, the two ODIs in the Indian women hockey team who created history by dribbling into the semi-finals in Tokyo Olympics with a cash reward of 50 lakh rupees each. Odisha government has been at the forefront of promoting hockey for quite some time now.
The second test match of the 5-match series between India and England will begin today in London. The two sides competed toe-to-toe before the fifth and final day of the opening test match in Nottingham was washed out due to rain on 8th of August. Both teams shared 4 points each from the drawn fixture and will be eyeing a win at Lord's to set the tone for the series. The match will start at 3:30 p.m. India time.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi is likely to have partly cloudy sky with the temperature moving from a minimum of 26 degrees Celsius to a maximum of 36 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. It recorded the minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 31 degrees. Chennai is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The temperature will vary between 27 and 36 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Jammu will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Leh is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with temperature hovering between 16 and 33 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Dehradun will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunderstorm. Guwahati will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder or lightning. Imphal will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain, as it noted a minimum temperature of 22 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. All dailies have mentioned about the stormy session of Parliament ending 2 days before schedule on their front page. Monsoon session brought to early close amid turmoil, writes Hindustan Times. The Indian Express adds, Naidu breaks down Birla Express's anguish. The Economic Times, quoting the Prime Minister, says, retro tax abolition to boost industry's trust. The paper further quotes the Prime Minister as saying, reforms are a matter of conviction and not compulsion for the government. On the tragic incident of the massive landslide in Himachal, the Pioneer says, 10 die, scores missing in Kinora landslide. The Hindu Business Line reports about banks joining hands to set up an online platform for debt trading under the headline, 10 top banks create secondary market for corporate loans. And finally, the Times of India mentions an agreement being signed citing the eventual phasing out of Rashtriya Pratibha Vikas Vidyalayas in Delhi. 30 Delhi government schools to take IB route to excellence part ways with CBSE. Teachers to get international standard training too.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India's economic growth is picking up pace again and domestic industry needs to enhance its risk-taking appetite. Prime Minister to participate in the Atmanirbhar Nari Shakti Se Samvad at 12:30 p.m. today. International Youth Day being observed today. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to confer National Youth Awards 2017-18 and 2018-19 in New Delhi. Country's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 52 crore mark. Maharashtra government relaxes corona curbs, allows hotels and restaurants to operate till 10 p.m. on all days from Sunday. Rescue operations resume at the landslide site in Kinora district of Himachal Pradesh. Indore becomes the first water plus city of the country. And in cricket, second test between India and England to begin in London today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.